most fun thing about Bill C63. This is the part where it moves from sort of jaw-droppingly incomprehensible to absolute theater of the absurd. Mm-hmm. I had to reread this section like 3 times.
Yeah.
Before I could believe it was true. I thought I must be misunderstanding this. I had the same experience with Bill C16, I guess, when I read about gender expression.
Yeah.
I thought, surely this can't mean fashion, because it certainly looks like it means fashion. There's no way it means fashion. It's like, nope, definitely means fashion, and purposefully so. It's like, okay, fair enough. Okay, so what have we got on the absolutely absurd side of things? Okay, so this is my understanding, and I'm not a lawyer, so maybe you can help me weed out any inaccuracies in my representation. So my understanding is that I can go to a provincial magistrate, and I can say that I fear that someone I know may commit a hate crime, let's say this year. I have good reason. The good reason would be my fear. So that would be my proclamation that my emotional reaction to this person's possible misbehavior is real. Not even that the threat is real, but that I'm afraid that it might be real. Right. And that magistrate can act on that by, well, the penalty laid out in the bill, as far as I can tell, was, well, if you're the person who is eliciting the fear, then you get to have an ankle bracelet on for a year, and you can be essentially confined to your house, and the court can determine who you can talk to and who you can't talk to, and they can also require you to have your bodily fluids monitored. This is one of the elements of the bill I didn't understand at all. It's like, where the hell did that come from? So they could put restrictions on your right to consume alcohol, for example. I suppose marijuana will probably still be okay as long as the Liberals are in power. But,
all right.
But anything that would, in principle, heighten the probability that you might commit the hate speech. And so, and the penalties, well, that's basically that. That's basically that part of the bill. Now, that doesn't seem, that's a pre-crime, right? It's a pre-crime.
It's pre-crime. Now,
right.
Now, it's not like this is a brand new idea. So there are already provisions in the code that allow for pre-crime solutions before a crime happens in some circumstances for some crimes if a court is satisfied that there is a threat. But what's happening here is they've taken that idea and they've combined it with this speech idea to create the scenario you're describing, which is, you've got to be kidding me. It is now possible for a magistrate to put me under house arrest because of something that he thinks I might say. That's where we're at.
Right. So the other circumstances you're referring to, I presume, would be something like someone has made repeated threats of domestic violence that appear credible.
Correct.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Correct. A credible threat of actual violence, for example.
Which in itself, though, constitutes a crime, doesn't it?
If you committed it.
But what if I threaten you directly with a crime?
If you make the threat, that's a crime. Yes, correct.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's right. So in that situation, the threat itself is also a crime.
Well, it could be. So you could have an actual prosecution for the threat. But if there are circumstances where, for some reason, that there hasn't been a threat, but there's still a danger that the evidence shows exists, maybe because there have been previous crimes committed by that individual against that individual, and the victim of those crimes is concerned because it looks like it's going to happen again. There are circumstances under which the court can do this kind of thing. But the combination of that power with this kind of action.
Bastard child of those two laws.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very well put. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got that right. That is how this.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And these can also be brought forward anonymously.
Well. See that. So the anonymous power is most noticeable in the bill under the human rights part. So the criminal code aspect is the way it's always done, and sometimes in that situation, I'm not a criminal lawyer, but as I understand it, there are circumstances in which complainants can be protected from exposure to the alleged perpetrator. But the real anonymity problem lies within the human rights tribunal part of the statute.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But so if we can step back for a moment. Part of the lesson in this, I think, is that the people who have put this together and are supporting it have an entirely different vision of what they think the law is for and how it's supposed to work. Like, this seems outrageous to us because we still have an idea about the old paradigm, like how this is supposed to work. And they don't have that idea anymore. This is a project to make certain kinds of behavior illegitimate, like actually illegitimate. And the fact that it happens to be speech, it's no concern of theirs because it's illegitimate. Speaking a true fact, if it's going to have an effect on people, is illegitimate. They are changing the paradigm. They are changing they're reframing the whole enterprise
that's been my understanding
of the law.
Yeah, this is a very fundamental transformation. This isn't something surface.
Not surface. It goes to the root of the way the law works. And those of us who are clinging to the old idea and thinking, well, this is an aberration. It's an outrageous aberration, but it's an aberration. It's not an aberration anymore. This is becoming the disease that the law is now subject to. The law is shifting beneath our feet.
Claudine Gay wasn't an aberration
Correct.
in the universities.
That's
No,
right.
she's emblematic of the universities.
That's right. And in the same
which
way
is why she was president of Harvard.
in the same way that she was emblematic of the universities, this is becoming emblematic of the law.